And now we come to international aspects. I'm working in 56 countries all over the world, but not at the same time. But generally I'm active in densely populated coast and delta areas where there is a shortage of space for living, working, tourism, recreation and infrastructure, and at the same time the need to preserve or expand valuable environment, nature and landscape. And I will address myself to a few examples worldwide. I shall give a limited example of the introduction of building with nature worldwide. I start with a small city and harbour of Poole on the southern shore of Great Britain. We have a residential area for senior citizens, and what you see is long staircases, which is a problem going down, but a special problem going up. And the beach is poor, and the port is not deep enough. So we introduced building with nature, making work with work, deepening the port, heightening and widening the beach. And we did it using trailer suction hopper dredgers, and in the end everyone was happy. The staircase became only a few steps down and up, where the excellent beach, wide and high enough, and the port has sufficient depth. So through making work with work and introducing building with nature, everyone became happy, both the port as well as the residential area and its senior citizens. Another example is near Copenhagen, tripling the coastline through building with nature. It's a very excellent project in Denmark, the Amager Beach Park near Copenhagen. Another interesting project is Alguna in Egypt near the Red Sea, in which land is introduced in the Red Sea, but also water within the new land, creating many waterfronts which are attractive for recreation. This can be coupled with ecotourism, remaining intact coral reefs in the Red Sea for eco-diving. An interesting project is the Red Sea-Dead Sea connection, linking the Red Sea with the Dead Sea through canal and pipeline. Here we have the situation that the Dead Sea receives its water from the river Jordan. However, more than 80% of the Jordan water is used for irrigation and drinking water supply, and the level of the Dead Sea, which was for centuries constant 390 meters below sea level, the lowest point on Earth, is now reduced to 435 meters below sea level. The Dead Sea is shrinking because situation used that the inflow of Jordan water was compensated by evaporation through the action of sun. But this balance is lost. So the Dead Sea is going down and is becoming smaller and smaller. The hotels are further removed from the waterfront and sinking holes appear in the shores. So the idea is to replace the freshwater inflow of the Jordan River by introducing of salt Red Sea water, thereby replacing the Jordan River inflow and bringing the Dead Sea level higher to its original level. Now, the difference in height can be used either for a power station or much better for creation of fresh water supply through reverse osmosis, which is interesting for Israel, Jordan, and the Palestine Authority for drinking water supply for the three parties. So there was an agreement between the three in looking seriously into this possibility. And then the question is, must it be exactly on the border between this canal pipeline connection between on the border of Jordan and Israel, or must it be on Israel territory or Jordan territory? Chosen was the Jordan territory because financing through the World Bank becomes easier, and all parties agreed on that. So it could be part of the peace process in the Middle East. It's a wonderful project. Not in this case land reclamation, but the introduction of the connection of Red Sea, Dead Sea. Now we are coming to the United Arab Emirates, and in this case, Dubai. Mohammed Rashid Al Maktoum, the leader of Dubai, was sitting next to a date palm on a chair, and he saw the shadow of the date palm in the desert, and he said, "I want an island in the form of the shadow of the date palm." So he was inspired by building with nature, which was a good thing. However, from a viewpoint of civil engineering, the palm island would be washed away. So it can only be achieved if you create a horseshoe of solid elements around it. Then you can introduce within the horseshoe ring building with nature and creating 17 palm leaves, each with a central road, with villas, with private beaches, and a stem which is excellent for electricity production, freshwater supply, shopping malls, wastewater purification, etc. The marinas for his purpose are too small. He owns a company, Nakhil, and it has a logo, and you can introduce a logo island with a 200 length of berths for his yacht. And he likes symmetry, so you can mirror image of this logo island on the other side. And that was created. And this whole project was created very fast, which you can see here, that within a year you see already the island in the water. And here you see it finished. And then he wanted to introduce a second palm island, again with a horseshoe ring for protection, with solid seawall elements. This island is 1.5 times as large as the previous one. It has houses on stilts forming Arab characters and 4 Arab proverbs which can be seen from the moon. And then he wanted a map of the world. So you can buy the eastern part of Brazil or part of Africa, Australia, but it will be washed away unless you create again an ellipse form of solid seawall elements to protect this. For him it has the advantage that with his yacht he can travel in 3 hours around the world. And then he wanted a number 4 Palm Island. And then it became unwise because it needs 1.3 billion cubic meters of sand. Now you have to realize that on the other side of the Persian Gulf is Iran, which is mountainous. So there's a groundwater flow from the mountains under the Persian Gulf towards the United Arab Emirates. But when you extract such a large amount of sand, groundwater hits the Persian Gulf, and fresh water is lighter than salt water. So fresh water is bubbling up, and you get introduction of salt water, which becomes introduction of salt water in the United Arab Emirates. So we advised heavily against it. So this project was blocked. Now you can see an overview of all the land reclamations along the Dubai coast. The 3 Palm Islands and the map of the world, the highest skyscraper of the world, and other types of information.